Alright guys, so I received my spark plugs today, as you can see. These are the Denso's IKH27 Iridium. I was having a misfire in cylinder 2 and 6. It was bad plugs. So I'm going to do a spark plug change. The first time I did the spark plugs, I didn't take the manifold off. But I want to look inside the valve, so this time I'm going to take the manifold off. And these are just a few tools you're going to be needing. Some ratchets. I got a 3/8 inch and a 1/4 inch for the smaller places, some extensions, a spark plug gapper, the measure, some grease, NIC's grease, some 10mm, that's a 1/8 millimeter, and a 14mm, a magnet, a little Phillips, and to take the clamps out. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll record step by step. Since I'm by myself, I have no one to record me. I'm gonna kind of take some stuff off and show you. First off, we're going to start by removing, we have to remove all this harness out the way. So there's one bolt there, 2, 3 to take, loosen this, and then there's one there, as you can see, another one there to just loosen the harness from this. Then I'm going to remove this coupler out here, and then we're going to start removing the actual manifold 10mm, which are in there. I think there's one in here, and I'll start getting to it as I get to it. Before I take the manifold off, I started taking off these bolts here for the brackets here. I took off the bolt that holds the pipe here so I can slide this off. There's a couple more that hold this bracket here and here to loosen this harness. And then I'm going to start taking all the vacuums off and connectors from the back. But before I take all the manifold off, I'm going to go ahead and do the 3 plugs on this side. So we got one here. Remove the coil pack here. 1. The bolt for the coil pack is there. And 3. I'm going to do those 3 plugs first, and then I'll take the manifold and do the other 3 that are inside. I think that way it might be easier. Alright guys, so I went ahead and took off 3 plugs here. See? 2, 3. Put plugs back in the box and labeled them by cylinder. These are my 3 new plugs. I already gapped them to 0.024 and between 0.024 and 0.025 on my gapper. So I'm going to go ahead and put some conductor grease and some NIC's freeze on here, and I'm going to install these 3. Then I'm going to move to removing the intake to do the 3 on this side. So the 3 new plugs are on. Just a demonstration. This is the old OEM plug, but so you put the connector grease on this tip, and then the NICs, you put it on the threads here. You don't need that much of it, just so you know. So I went ahead and used an extension and a torque wrench. So you can see I torqued them down to all of them, and I double checked them to 25 foot-pounds. So there's nice and stuck. So I'm going to go ahead. I already put the coil back on this one. We put the coil here on this one. Move this. Demonstration. And then I'm going to put the coil over here. For these 3 plugs, you don't have to take anything off, literally. As far as harness, you just get to them easily. Then after these 3 are done, I'm going to take off the intake to get to the other 3. All right, quick update guys. So this side was done. I go ahead and I took the manifold off. There's 2 coolant lines here. I left them on because I didn't want coolant, so I just used my belt to hold it up. So you can see I have access to the 3 plugs from here. So I'm going to do those 3. And it was fairly easy. Now, I was inspecting, I don't have light. If I had light, I can show you the valves. There's a little bit of carbon in the valve stems, which is a little, considering it's a GDI, I only have 12K, there is some carbon buildup. I'm going to try to find a flashlight to show you in there so you can see the valves. So after all, the seafoam would come in handy if used properly. I know a lot of guys would say, oh, this GDI, it's a new car, doesn't need that, but I would do the seafoam maintenance every 10K or so, just for peace of mind. But there's some carbon buildup. But since I have WMI, those babies are going to look shiny once I start using it. So that's good news. So I'm going to go ahead and get these 3 plugs, remove the coil packs, and those do that side. All right, so we're going to take a look at the valves. Can you guys see them? The camera can't focus in, but there is some carbon buildup. And like I said, it's nothing crazy. Minor buildup. So there is a little bit, it's hard to see because the camera can really, for whatever reason, can't zoom in. Let's cover this from dust. But there's minor buildup. So I do recommend that if you have WMI, I guess you don't have to worry about it. But using the seafoam every 10K, it's just peace of mind. It just helps because once it builds up heavy, you can't really take it out. It's really hard. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and remove the coil packs. I'm going to remove the spark plugs in order. I kept them in order, and I'm going to gap the new ones and put them in. Quick update. So the 3 plugs are in. This is loose. I just mounted it where it goes. Now we're going to put all the bolts back together. I just put the 2 nuts in there. Gotta put this bracket back. I have to loosen some brackets and hoses and put the clamps back on the hoses, the plugs, and the bolts. And we're gonna come back once I put them all. As you can see, so there's one. That's for the bracket. That's for the bracket. That's for a bracket. That's a little one for a bracket. There's a little one right there for another bracket. There's 2 in here. One there. One there. And then you put the hoses back here. There's the big 14mm that goes here. Then the nut that goes there, and the one that goes in that corner, and this is for a bracket that goes there, and then all the hoses put back in. Then we put the intercooler tube back on here, tighten it, and put all the clamps back in, and we're pretty much done. So I'll come back when I retorque everything. Alright guys, so job is done. Everything went back to stock. I gotta say, from a 1 through 10, this is probably number 5. So difficulty is easy, medium. Between easy and medium is definitely not hard. It took me about, it's my first time ever doing it, taking the manifold off. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I have misfire, so I want to look inside the valves. And I wanted to make sure I torqued these the right. Last time I did these without taking the manifold with a bunch of swivels, but it's real hard to get the middle one torqued properly. You'd be able to use a torque wrench on the middle one. You can't. So I wanted to do it right. I gapped them to 0.024, 0.025, roughly between there. And we're about to start the car. Moment of truth, guys. So this is the moment of truth. I'm gonna go ahead and start the car, and we're gonna see if she starts or if I blew the car up. Hopefully not. So let's go. Moment of truth. Okay. Don't check engine. Revs are pretty steady. They're a little high because I just started the car, of course, but they're not going up and down. When I had fire and I would start the car, the revs would kind of go up and down like the idle. Okay, it's going down. And supposedly I was reading that colder plugs, or at least 2-step colder, which this is the case with these ones, they'll give you idling issues. Doesn't seem to idle rough. Let's go to the front. solid. Now I gotta test drive it. And now the moment of truth. Gotta actually test drive it. And I'm gonna go ahead and try map 8 on WMI. I'll do a separate video on that. My review in WMI, because I haven't been able to use it, although it's installed since I Bluetooth plugs. But I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow or Friday, and I'll post a video of that, and we'll see if I blow up these plugs or they're fine. So I'll be able to give a better review once I drive the car a little better. So anyways, I hope this video helped. Any questions, just let me know. And I recommend it. You know, I know some shops charge anywhere between 150 to 300 to do this job. It's fairly easy job. You don't have the tools. You don't need a jack stand. You can just do some tools. 10 millimeter, it's all you need, really, and some extensions and a spark plug socket and some extensions, and you can get the job done. So the rest is clips, so some pliers, and just moving stuff out the way. So it took me about 2 hours, but I was really taking my time, and I took a small break to get something to eat. So I say it's an hour and a half job. It was my first time. So if I do it again, I'll probably do it about an hour, under an hour. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright guys, so the verdict on the car. Car is good now. Misfired, Bluetooth plugs, cylinder 2 and 6. I put back the OEM, and car seemed fine. Drove it for 3 days like that. Today I got my Denso IKH27 two-step coulter plugs. Finally installed them. As you can see, everything's back together. Started the car. Everything's fine. No idle issues. No anything. So I'll be doing some driving between today's Tuesday, between today and Friday. I'll be doing some driving, and on Thursday or Friday, or maybe tomorrow if I get a chance after work, I'm going to try some runs on the WMI. First, I'm going to drive the car normal on map 1 and map 2 and push it to see if I see any issues. If I don't, then on Friday, I'll go ahead and push the car on map 8. And then maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll try to hit the track if everything's right. Right now, I don't have my wheels. Walmart scratched them up, so they're getting painted, powder coated. So we'll go check that out. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this fixed the issue. So if anybody else has misfires, it's most likely a spark plug. I was blessed that my coil packs were good. So we'll go from there. All right, peace out, guys.